Spoilers for Elbaf ahead. However, a very funny fan joke might have just become canon, because in the past, Monkey D. Garp, the grandfather of Monkey D. Luffy and a vice admiral of the Marines, has often been said to act on the accord of the drums of subjugation. That's the whole fan joke here, because in two major events, he is not acting on the behalf of those who would actually need his help. He's acting on the behalf of his own whims, completely ignoring those in need. So, in the past, when he goes to God Valley, he is not going there to save slaves or subjugated people from the Celestial Dragons hunting game. He is going there to fight Goldie Roger and Roxy Zebek. It's all about running the fade, which is crazy. Then, in the present, he doesn't go to the pirate island Blackbeard's base to save the slaves being held there. He goes there to rescue his disciple, Kobe. So he's acting on his own accord in both major situations and is really not thinking about the people who actually need his help. So with that being said, keeping this whole idea of the drums of subjugation in mind, which are a tongue-in-cheek play off of the human through mythical model Nika, the ability that Luffy has, in which once he goes gear 5th, his heartbeat is actually able to produce an energy referred to as the drums of liberation. Now, with that being said, in the past, we have seen the drums of liberation be able to awaken a robot. So we know that it's not just a sound, it actually has abilities. The funny thing about this is that in chapter 1179, when IMU touches down and we actually get to see what they look like in their presumed hybrid state, we get to see them animate a bunch of buildings and trees from the black energy produced by the magic circle upon their arrival. Said trees began to sing as they are possessed in phrases such as Doran Doran or Boran Boran and various other phrases which are accompanied by musical notes. So perhaps this is actually the canonical drums of subjugation being put on display here, which is very funny because now, yes, the fan joke could have actually become a thing in this very scene. And I think that's quite interesting. What's even more interesting is that I wonder if this beat is being produced by IMU'S heart. And furthermore, what condition is IMU'S heart in? Because a very funny thing that we get to see in the chapter previous to this one and in this chapter as well is that Shepherd Sommers, a underling of IMU, a holy knight, has a mechanical heart, referred to as a steel heart in the chapter. But what's weird about seeing this now is that there's a lot of heart / deity theming that we've been seeing throughout the story so far, because, okay, the first time we see this is with Eniru. He's able to restart his own heart via the Rumble Fruit abilities, okay? That was weird, and of course he saw himself as a deity. And just to give myself a little plug here, we talk a lot about the similarities between IMU and Eniru in a video I just released about IMU possibly having the mythical bat fruit model Baphomet. Go check that out. However, then later we see that Luffy's heart is the source of Gear 5th, allowing him to become Nika by producing the drums of liberation. That's weird. And now in this chapter, we're possibly seeing the drums of subjugation and the various knights, presumably more than just Summers, have a weird steel heart. So we don't know where this leads. And possibly, as we just talked about, the steel heart here could be possessed by the aliens that Eniru encounters on the moon because they have the same pressure valves on their chests. So I'm not really sure where this is leading, but I do wonder, getting back to the drums of subjugation, what can they do if they are indeed real? Can they power some sort of ancient machine like how Luffy's drums of liberation powered Emmett? I really do wonder, because this is becoming very interesting just from the little bit that we've seen so far. However, if you are enjoying the video so far, click the like button, And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button followed by that bell so you never miss a video. In addition, if you could, hit the hype button because it really does help. With that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Rexy.